Hi everyone, welcome back to the Selenium WebDriver tutorial, and we are learning Jenkins. This is day 49 and today is the last topic from Jenkins for now. Today's topic is Jenkins pipeline is what we are going to learn today. So when I say Jenkins pipeline, let's talk about what is pipeline, why do we use a pipeline. So Jenkins pipeline is a Jenkins 2.x feature. Okay, if you are using older version, then you may not be able to see the Jenkins pipeline feature. And in order to use the Jenkins pipeline, you need to have plugins, but I will talk that later. Before that, let's talk about what is Jenkins pipeline. So pipeline helps you to define the workflow of your job. Okay, now when I'm saying defining a workflow, now there could be any kind of a workflow for your job. Now for example, in one project, so clone code, then do some setup configuration, before starting anything, then compile it, then run unit test. I'm just giving a sample example, then run unit test cases. Then there might be any other test cases like integration test or something like that. Next part is, let's say, run regression, like publishing report. Then next phase could be like send email with the report. Okay, or let's say there might be in a regression test there might be a sub stages. Let's say run job 1, run job 1, 2, 3, something like that you can configure, and at the end you can just summarize, collect report. Then you can say send email, and let's say you want to do some kind of deployment and something like that, you can take a decision, deploy, and blah 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 stuff. Okay, so this is kind of a workflow, a sample workflow which I am giving. Now you can define how you want to have a workflow in your job. Now for example, another workflow could be pull the code on all nodes. Okay, let's say first step. Second step is, let's say you are doing some mobile application testing, then download the build, or you can say check the mobile device is connected. Third step could be download build to test the build or the application. The next step could be like install apps. The next step could be run regression test, and finally collect report and email. This is another example of setting up a workflow. So the workflow will depend on your project, so how you want to define it. Okay, I will be telling you some generic way to define a workflow. The same workflow you can use it for any other purpose or any other project as you want. So very first thing is you need to have the Jenkins running, right? So let me just get started Jenkins. In the previous tutorial we created a batch file with java hyphen the scp parameter hyphen jenkins and jenkins.var. Just double click that batch file. If you are using a Linux or something, you may want to create a bash file instead of batch. I'm using Windows. Okay, so let's wait for that Jenkins to start. Okay, I can see that Jenkins is fully up and running. Now it is time to launch Jenkins. Okay, I already have it. Let me just reload this page. Okay, perfect. So I have two executor, master and Mac Pro, but thing is the Mac Pro node is offline right now, so I will be executing my jobs on only on master. So if you need a pipeline job, just say new item, and there you will see an option for pipeline. Okay, there is an option for pipeline. If you don't see a pipeline option, that means you need to install a pipeline plugin. So go to Jenkins, manage Jenkins, manage plugins, and go to available. Then search for a plugin, but you can see that I already have Jenkins. Just search for pipeline. Oops, okay, pipeline. Then you should be able to see that pipeline job plugin here, somewhere here. But the thing is, in my case, it is already installed. So you can see that pipeline plugin in already installed list. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so let me see, pipeline job plugin is already installed or not. Okay, you can see that pipeline, a suite pipeline that allows you to. Okay, it's already there. Then pipeline Maven integration plugin I have installed already. This allows you to execute your Maven command. Pipeline GitHub Groovy. So there are some default pipeline plugins are installed. Okay, build pipeline plugin, this is what I was talking about. Okay, so build pipeline is already installed. If you don't see Jenkins new job, and if you don't see pipeline option here, you make sure you install build pipeline plugin in your Jenkins. So let me see, example is let's say sample project, or let's give some better name instead of saying sample. So I'm saying project X pipeline. Okay, let's say this is a pipeline job. I will say okay. Once you say pipeline, so as we already discussed, pipeline helps you to define a workflow, but how does it help? So if you go here to now, there you see a very limited options, not like a build, pre-build and post-build actions. You will see some options as a pipeline. So there are some options, some common options here. In general, you can do that. Build trigger is also common in all the jobs and as well as pipeline job. Now the advanced project configuration, it is related with your giving a project name to your job. Then pipeline. Okay, so you can see that you don't see build stage, pre-build, post-build or anything of that type. Okay, so you can only see a pipeline job. Now there are two options, pipeline script. In definition, there are two options, pipeline script. If you say pipeline script, then you have to directly give pipeline script here. Okay, so the pipeline script is actually written inside is written using a Groovy programming language, Groovy scripting. So you should know basics of a Groovy scripting to write a pipeline script. Okay, it's pretty much easy. It is like extension of a Java only. So the syntaxes between Java and Groovy is much similar, but however there are differences. However, this is like completely a different programming language. So another option is pipeline script from SCM. SCM, it means you are saying that I want to take the pipeline script from the source code only, from wherever I'm pulling a source code. The SCM, that means software configuration management, could be like Git or a subversion. Subversion means SVN. Let's say I'm saying Git, then you have to pass the Git URL with the credentials and everything. But this is for those people who want to store their pipeline script as a part of your source code or as a part of your Git project or a SVN project. But I will be using the first option, which is more simpler, pipeline script, but there is no much difference actually. Okay, so this is where we write a Groovy scripting, and as we discussed, there are two options. First option is directly giving the pipeline script here, and another option is picking up the pipeline from the SCM. SCM is, it means it could be SVN or Git. So I'm just making it simple. Now, as this is the first pipeline job, I would suggest to try this. So they have given two sample codes. One is hello world program. This is like something every programmer, developer, they try for the first time. So I will use this hello world program. In the code, the scope code which is generated, you will see that there is a node, and the node is having echo hello world. So echo is a command that is used to just print something on a console. Okay, it's like printing the same value on the next line. So I will just say save. Now this is like hello world program in your pipeline. I just saved. Now build now. You can see that build number 1 is running. It will take a few seconds, and then you can see it is blue. Blue means passed. Okay, you click on the blue, and there you will see the output as hello world. Okay, echo command got executed, and echo is printing output as a hello world. So come back to that job again. Okay, here you will see one message. So there is a stage view. This is very nice for getting the information on how the workflow is defined. So the stage view shows the warning message kind. The pipeline has run successful, but does not define any stages. So if you don't have a stages in your workflow, that means you are not actually defining any kind of a workflow here. So you don't want to show any workflow here. You need to define stages in order to show those stages into the stage view. So what they are suggesting, use the stage step to define some stages in a pipeline. Okay, let me tell you how to do that. So I'm saying configure, and now I'm going to create stages. Okay, stages. And stages may have multiple stage. Okay, so I'm writing stage, and the stage is echo hello world. Whenever you are saying stage, you also need to give the name of a stage. Now for example, I'm giving a stage name as STAG stage 1, or let's say hello. Okay, say hello is my stage name. So I'm just saving it, run the job, and it will run as a build number 2. There is something wrong, some mistake I did. No such DSL stages. Oh, okay. I think I did a mistake. Let me go back to the Jenkins configuration, and let me see, what was the mistake. Okay. This issue might be because of node. Generally, if you are creating a pipeline job, we write pipeline. Node is like a single node which can be executed. So I'm just changing that pipeline to pipeline, node to pipeline. That pipeline is having a stages. So the first stage is this stage, with the name as say hello, and I'm just saying echo hello world. That's the step I'm doing. So let me just save it and run it again. Oh, there is still an issue. STAGE hello world. What is that? Unknown stage section. Okay, if you read this error carefully, you will find out steps in a stage must be in a steps block. Okay, so this is what this is the mistake which I was doing. So stages have stages have stage, and stage should have step. Okay, so I'm saying step here. Okay, now pipeline, stages, step, stage. So first stage is say hello, and it is having step as echo hello world. Now let me just save it and build now. Oh, there is still something wrong. Okay, looks like I'm doing a mistake with the basic syntax of pipeline. So better what I'm going to do is I will use a simple example. So just Google Jenkins pipeline. Okay, here is the documentation on the pipeline. So if you want to learn pipeline, this is very nice documentation which explains each and every point about a pipeline, how to use it with different examples. Why do we use a pipeline? These are the reason why we use a pipeline. This is example of defining a workflow, that what you can do with a pipeline. These are some concepts, if you want to go through each and every concept, I will please recommend going through this tutorial. So they have given a sample script. Let me just copy that sample script and pasting it here. Alright, so closing of stages, then closing of pipeline. So what you see here is I defined a pipeline, then it has agent any. Agent any means run on any agent. The stages defines a stage, and stage defines a step, and inside a step I will define echo hello world. Okay, let me just save it and build now. This will run as build number 5. Oh, I actually mistakenly ran 2 times. Let's reload it. Okay, it's still running. If you want to see the detail, okay, you can see that it is executed with a success stage. So build number 5, 6 both got executed. With build number 5 is took 1 second, build number 6 took 866 milliseconds, and it was only having 1 stage. So this is what the stage view is. Okay, now what you can do is, like one example is, first stage is build something, then test it and then deploy. These are like kind of 3 main phases. So I'm just copying the complete code, come here and paste it, done. So I do have 3 phases right now. So in case of a build, you can see that pull the code, or you can just add one more stage, something like pull code. It will have steps, and there you have to define the steps which you want to do. So you will write code to pull from SCM, source code repository. So these are like few stages I created. So pull code, build it, test it, and then deploy. Now deployment can be anything, just simply copy pasting something, or that you can do it. I can just save this empty pipeline. This is completely empty pipeline with only the build steps defined in it. Okay, I think I messed up with the bracket. Come back to the pipeline script. Okay, I'm expecting this to work. Let me see now. I just did some minor changes. Oh, okay, it's still failing. Okay, what is exactly that? So it's, guys, it is a programming language, it's a Groovy language. So make sure you follow Groovy syntaxes, you don't miss any bracket and something like that. So let me just try to find out if I have done some mistake here. Okay, let me revert this complete code with the default, save it, and let's try. It might be because I left those blocks empty. Yeah, I guess my guess is right. I left all those blocks empty, so that is what is causing my script to fail. I will simply write one command, echo, that is building, testing, and deploying. Okay, just writing some message because I think you can't leave the stages blank. Mostly we don't do that, right? So come back here and you can see building, testing, deploying is got printed, and finally you see success. So this is like sample high level structure that how a pipeline job looks like. Okay, so this is how you can define a stages, and let's go and see the stage view. Click on the job. Here you will see build, test, deploy. These are the 3 stages, and there you can see how much time is taken by each of the stage. Fine. Now let's come back to the configuration. I will write some real kind of a code. So here I will add one more stage as pull code. Okay, so the step which I'm going to define. Okay, let me tell you first pipeline syntax. So if you don't know that which syntax you have to write for pulling a code or something, this plugin has a very nice page, pipeline syntax. Just click here. It will open a page for you guys to to help to write a pipeline syntax. Now let's say I want to run another job in this pipeline. Okay, so just say build, and what you want to do, build a job. I want to run another job which will do this job, and project to build. There you have to give the name of a project. Let me check the different projects that I have. I will take any sample job. Let's just say hi on node. Okay, that is not going to work because I configured it only on a, or I can run a parametric job. That is what we learned in the previous session. So just copy the name of that Jenkins job. Okay, see, this is a parametric job, and it takes 2 parameters, username and country, with the default values as well. So I'm saying this is a job I want to run. This job has 2 parameters. This parameter will be automatically displayed. You can change the value if you want to. Let's say instead of Mr. Smith, I want to pass Vikas and country as India as a parameter to this job, and just click on generate pipeline script. So this generate pipeline script is going to generate some code. This is a Groovy scripting code. Just copy that code, come back here and run it. So instead of building, okay. So in stage pull code, actually it will be running a parameter Jenkins sample job. Okay, I hope you got the concept. If you want to trigger a job, this is the syntax, and how you get this syntax, just click on pipeline syntax. There I selected build job. There you have to give the name of a job. Let's say, what is that name? The name is like parameterized Jenkins project. Select the job. This plugin will automatically pull what are the parameters which is taken by that job. This with the default value. You can, if you want, you can change the values, and then click on generate pipeline script. This is the script which is generated with, you can see username is passed as J Smith, and country, sorry, username is passed as Mr. Smith, country is passed as USA, and copy that code, go to your pipeline job, and just paste it into stages. So in stage pull code, actually it is going to run parameter Jenkins sample job, because this is what I have defined. So I'm just saying save. I will say build now. Okay, let's go to that console, and there you can see scheduling a project, parameter Jenkins sample job. If you refresh a Jenkins, you can see that both job will be running at some certain time. Okay, parameter Jenkins job is scheduled, but the problem is this job is scheduled to run on Mac Pro server. Can you see that Mac Pro is offline and that job went into the queue? So what I will do is I will stop my pipeline build, pipeline job. Okay. Oh, I don't know why these 2 pipeline jobs are getting executed. Let me stop. Fine. Select that job, that is parameterized Jenkins job. I will configure that job to run only on a master or run on available node, whichever node is available. So just go here, remove that restriction parameter, remove this restriction parameter and just save it. Alright, so I'm done. Now come back to that pipeline job. Okay, it was like aborted. I'm going to run it again. So build now. Go to Jenkins and there you will see both the jobs are, okay, that's a different. Let me reload it again. You can see that pipeline parameterized Jenkins sample job and pipeline X job, both jobs are running at a time. So parameterized job will finish its execution and will return back to pipeline job. Okay, you can see the stages. First stage was pull code. That is what this is where the parameterized Jenkins job got executed with a success status. Then build stage got executed, test and deploy. All these 4 stages got executed. So I hope it is clear to you that how this execution happened. So let's say if something goes wrong in pull code or build, it will stop your workflow there only. The execution won't be going further in the next stages. So this was just one example, but what I will do is I will try to reproduce or create the same scenario with our real testing project. So let me go to that pipeline job. I'm saying configure. So in case of pull code, I want to pull actually the job which is going to pull my code. So if you want to pull a code, go to the syntaxes, click on pipeline syntax. There select git. Okay, I'm selecting git. Now you have to give a repository URL. I have repository URL here. Let me just copy that and paste it here. Then select a branch. Then you have to give credential also, which credential you want to pass it for that git repository. So this is my credential. Let's wait for a few seconds. Alright. And do you want to say include polling and include changelog? Yes, I will just leave it default. Say generate pipeline script. Okay. So a pipeline script is automatically generated with git command, user ID, git credential ID and the URL of the git repository. Just copy, come back here. Now in pull stage, I'm just pasting that one line inside a pull stage. The next stage could be, let's say I want to say that Maven clean, I want to say that Maven clean compile. So I will say mv, okay, mvn is the command which I want to run, right? But before running mvn command, you need to say bat, okay? By saying a bat, you can actually execute any kind of command. So I'm saying bat mvn clean and compile. Fine. So in case of testing, you can again specify what exactly you want to do. Again, I can specify a bat mvn command clean, not clean actually. This time I will run mvn test or something like that. But for that I need to understand what is exactly there in that S15 framework. Let me see, we already configured one job with that project, that is search product test. Okay, so here I said perform cleaning test, clean test, okay, and then I pass this parameter. This is the class which I want to run. So the same thing I will do here, bat mvn test, and the parameter which I am passing is this -d test. Run this test case, okay, run this class. That's what I am doing. I don't need a deploy stage, or if you want deploy, like instead of deploy I will say publish report, and there we will publish a report. It could be like anything, deployment or publish report or anything. I will just add a message for now. Now let's say save, try to build that job. Okay, see, the job got the pipeline got started. Okay, the first stage is pull code, and that is executing. Okay, the pull code stage got executed with success, and then build is started. Build is like I think it is Maven clean only. The clean completed with 14 seconds. Now the MVN test is executing. So I'm expecting some test case to execute with, you know, opening a browser and those things. So let's wait for a few seconds. Can you see that Chrome is launched here? Okay. That means the test case execution is happening. Okay, the first test case got executed, and there are few more test cases which I'm expecting to get automatically executed. But I think we intentionally failed few test cases. You know, I think 2 test cases is expected to fail because we are failing those test cases. So let's wait for a few seconds. Okay, tests are still getting executed. You can see that Chrome browser is blinking here. Okay, alright, so as you can see here is the test cases got failed. Okay, failed with the following error: Windows batch script written exit code 1. You know, the thing is the test stage failed, and that is the reason why it is skipping the next publish report stage. So if you want to find out, just click on here, go to the last, and you can see that you know, there are 9 test cases ran and 1 test case got failed. Now that is the reason, you know, that build got failure and the pipeline stopped there only. So if you want to, let's say if, you know, if all the test cases are getting passed, then only it will go to the publish report. But there are some options, you know, where you can actually say that even though if it is getting failed, still continue the pipeline. We just need to find out that option. I don't recall it. It is not that handy with me right now. But yeah, I hope you got the idea, you know, how that pipeline works and how you can configure a pipeline. Let me go back to the configure again. And this pipeline syntax, this is very nice plugin. You know, you can do lot of things with this. Let's say delete a directory recursively, and echoing is like that we already used. Echo print message. Let's say hi, it will generate a code like echo hi that we already have used. If you want to sleep for a few seconds, you can add that. If you are working on Linux, you might want to execute a shell script. This is the command which you have to use. if you are cloning a code from SVN, then you can say SVN, give the some URL, let's say http://sample, this just and generate, and this is the command for cloning a SVN repository. There are actually many things, you know. Let me just find out if publish HTML report is also displayed here. Okay, publish HTML report, you know, this is the plugin that we have used in the last session. Like if you want to publish some HTML report, give the path to that folder, which file you want to publish, and let's say, you know, I want to publish target/surefire/report/HTML, and from that index.html is the main file which I want to publish. Just say generate pipeline script, copy this pipeline script into your step, okay, paste it here, and that's all. Make sure you give all the correct parameters, like including this folder path and everything. So this is how you can build your pipeline script with the different stages. Yeah, this is all I have covered basics today, and thank you very much for attending. I think this much is, like, you know, this knowledge is sufficient to get started with the Jenkins pipeline. There are still a lot of things you can learn in a Jenkins pipeline, but as a part of Selenium WebDriver, you know, I think this basics is sufficient. Thank you very much for attending the session.